طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نبغى هدوء وتركيز معانا هنا اليوم. مرحبا فيكم مرة ثانية في اليوم الثاني من تدريب رالي جميل. اليوم زي ما قلنا لكم أمس رح نتكلم عن الجهاز ستيلا. أكثر التركيز اليوم بالنسبة للمساعدات حيكون على جهاز ستيلا. ليش عندنا إزعاج هناك ورا؟ اوكي، فالفرصة الآن ونحن موجودين لأي أحد هنا اليوم مثلا كان عنده مشكلة في إنه كيف يقرأ الرود بوك. كيف كانت اليوم التدريب على الرود بوك؟ هل في أحد كان عنده مشاكل؟ الأفضل إنه يتكلم الآن على أساس إنه نحن نقدر نصرف وقت بعد الجلسة هذه مع الناس اللي كانت عندهم صعوبات، على أساس إنه تركز المعلومة معاهم أو يقدروا يتعلموا كيف يقروا الرود بوك. I'm going to say this in English. I'd like to welcome everybody to the second day of Rally Jamil training program. Today we will be speaking and concentrating on the Stella and navigation equipment, and we will have also a practical training on driving in the desert. So we'll split into two teams today. The co-drivers will be in a group, and the drivers will be in another group, and so we can concentrate and give the full concentration to everybody on what he's going to do inside the car and to save time. So what I ask also of everybody who? If anybody has an issue, today you had a practice on road book, you came from the hotel to here on the road book. If anybody has an issue with the road book, please also inform us so we can help in any free time to sit one-on-one with anybody who needs more practice on the road book. So we would like to start now. I have Carlos here, who is from Stella. We have a videotape that explains how it works. So I'm going to play the video in both language, Arabic and in English. And we'll see from there if you have any questions, then Carlos will answer. هعرض اليوم دحين عندنا السكشن حق ستيلا. راح أعرض فيديو بالعربي وفيديو بالإنجليزي يشرح كيف استخدام الأجهزة هذه. إذا أي أحد عنده أي استفسارات بعدين يقدر يشرح على يعني كارلوس يشرح لهم. للجميع اللي موجودين معنا أونلاين، أنتوا اليوم نقدر نحن نسمعكم مباشرة. إذا أي أحد عنده أي استفسار يرفع يده ونقدر نحن نجاوب عليه. For those who are online, if you have any questions or clarification, please raise your hand, and you will be able to contact or communicate with us directly. We can hear you now, and we will answer your questions. طيب, we'll start the Arabic version. في مشكلة في الصوت يا جماعة. صوت أمس كان في سلك صوت هنا عندي عشان الصوت حق الكمبيوتر يطلع عندكم. يا أخوي من الكمبيوتر.
Three Evo User Manual. Let us show you how Stella 3 EVO safety equipment works.
On the main screen, you can see your current heading, direction, distance, name and number of the destination waypoints. Also the number of waypoints you have already validated and the total distance you have traveled.
طيب انت حاطط الدي اتش ام اي طيب.
When you're inside of the radar
الصوت وين على
Stellar 3 Evo User Manual. Let us show you how Stellar 3 EVO safety equipment works.
طالع من التلفزيون. نحن بطلع من الجهاز.
On the main
عندك.
screen, you can see your current heading,
في أمس
direction,
ركب وصلة
distance,
هنا.
name and number of the destination waypoint. Also the number of waypoints you have already validated and the total distance you've traveled.
Stop the video.
Yes. أنا مسوي
When you're
كده.
inside of the radar zone, you can see the car.
أمس مركب هو.
In this example, the maximum speed is 50 kilometers per hour. In case you have an accident requiring medical attention, you should press SOS.
عذرا دقيقة بس اشبكوا لنا الصوت عشان مرة مهم تسمعوه بكل وضوح.
Far back.
ايش؟ مو طالع. هذا دقيقة الكمبيوتر علق. إلى أن يصلحوا الصوت لقينا هذا الجوال في الغرفة حق الطعام. We found this mobile phone in the breakfast room, in the breakfast tent. So anybody who's mobile, who has a missing mobile, it's here. شغال دحين شغال. ايش؟ دقيقة. دحين فول سكرين.
تتمكن من رؤية وجهتك الرئيسية، الاتجاه، رقم
استنى.
التي حددتها وكل الرحل التي وثقتها. ستيلا 3 لنريك طريقة عمل جهاز الحماية. ستيلا 3
ما هو باين ال HDMI
على
دحين.
الشاشة ستتمكن من رؤية وجهتك الرئيسية، الاتجاه، المسافة، اسم ورقم منطقة الوصول، وأيضا جميع الجهات التي حددتها وكل الرحل التي وثقتها.
هذا مني أنا. باين الصوت يا بنات؟ طيب اوكي رجعني.
عندما تكون في نطاق الرادار سوف تتمكن من رؤية سرعتك الحالية والسرعة المسموح بها.
خلاص اديني رجعني على السكرين.
هو 50 كيلومتر في الساعة. في حال وجود حالة طارئة عليك الضغط على زرار ال SOS. اضغط على الزر الأحمر والأزرق في نفس الوقت حتى تظهر إشارة ال SOS على الشاشة. أكد على حاجتك للإسعاف ثم انتظر التعليمات من المقر الرئيسي. أي مركبة قادمة باتجاهك سوف تستقبل إشارة SOS على شاشتهم، وأول مركبتان تصلان عليهم بالوقوف.
مشبوك انا دحين.
ستيلا 3 إيفو لنريك طريقة عمل جهاز الحماية. ستيلا 3 إيفو على الشاشة ستتمكن من رؤية وجهتك الرئيسية، الاتجاه، المسافة، اسم ورقم. ستيلا 3 إيفو لنريك طريقة عمل جهاز الحماية. ستيلا 3 إيفو. على الشاشة ستتمكن من رؤية وجهتك الرئيسية، الاتجاه، المسافة، اسم ورقم منطقة الوصول، وأيضا جميع الجهات التي حددتها وكل الرحل التي وثقتها. عندما تكون في نطاق الرادار سوف تتمكن من رؤية سرعتك الحالية.
لا تحط أول سكرين تكون بين الاثنين حقي خلاص مش بسرعة يا جماعة بسرعة. تعال السيتنج في الكمبيوتر خليه السكرين اللي هنا هي اللي هنا وخلاص. كيف اخلي السكرين حقي هي نفسها اللي انا ما ابغاها كل واحدة لحالها.
لنريك طريقة عمل جهاز الحماية ستيلا 3 إيفو. على الشاشة ستتمكن من رؤية وجهتك الرئيسية، الاتجاه، المسافة، اسم ورقم منطقة الوصول، وأيضا
نعتذر على هذا العطل. الآن اشتغل، لو سمحتوا ركزوا يلا حنشغل الفيرجن العربي أول.
ستيلا 3 إيفو. لنريك طريقة عمل جهاز الحماية ستيلا 3 إيفو. على الشاشة ستتمكن من رؤية وجهتك الرئيسية، الاتجاه، المسافة، اسم ورقم منطقة الوصول، وأيضا جميع الجهات التي حددتها وكل الرحل التي وثقتها. عندما تكون في نطاق الرادار سوف تتمكن من رؤية سرعتك الحالية والسرعة المسموح بها، وفي هذا المثال السرعة القصوى 50 كيلومتر في الساعة. في حال وجود حالة طارئة عليك الضغط على زرار ال SOS. اضغط على الزر الأحمر والأزرق في نفس الوقت حتى تظهر إشارة ال SOS على الشاشة. أكد على حاجتك للإسعاف ثم انتظر التعليمات من المقر الرئيسي. أي مركبة قادمة باتجاهك سوف تستقبل إشارة SOS على شاشتهم، وأول مركبتان تصلان عليهم بالوقوف وضغط زرار ال SOS على أجهزتهم ومساعدة الشخص المصاب. الوقت التي تبقى به المركبة في حالة وقوف سوف يتم إعادتها إلى المرحلة الخاصة. لا يجب استخدام خدمة ال SOS في الحالات الغير طارئة، تعطل المركبة أو أي حالة أخرى لا تتضمن إصابة السائق. في حال التعطيل الميكانيكي اضغط على الزر الأحمر لمدة 3 ثواني حتى يظهر المثلث على الشاشة. في هذه الحالة سوف يتم إعلام المركبات الأخرى في حالتك ويمنع أي تصادم. المسافة الأساسية التي يسمح بالتجاوز.
قفل المايكس حقهم هناك يصير نحن ما نسمعهم لو سمحت. طب مين الصوت اللي طالع معنا؟
Yeah.
300 متر.
Like to drive? Are you good? Next year,
يجب عليك اختيار النص
to be your navigator and then, or you can be navigator.
الذي يناسب وضعك الحالي. لأسباب السلامة جهاز ستيلا سوف يعلمك في حال اقتراب من منطقة تم تعليمها في كتاب الشارع بخطر 3. في حال قربك من مركبة أخرى سوف تتمكن من إرسال علم أزرق لتتجاوز المركبة بسلام. اضغط الزر الأزرق في حال وجودك في منطقة التجاوز. سوف يظهر على الشاشة خطوط زرقاء. في حال ظهور الشاشة خضراء تعني أن المركبة التي أمامك استقبلت علمك الأزرق. في لحظة ظهور جو تم قبول التجاوز. عندما يصلك علم أزرق سوف يبدأ الجهاز في إطلاق صوت وسوف تضيء الشاشة باللون الأزرق. عندما تضغط الزر الأزرق سوف تسمح للمركبة الأخرى بالتجاوز. قبل مسافة 90 متر من منطقة الرادار، وسوف تطلق صوت وتظهر السرعة القصوى على الشاشة باللون الأصفر في مناطق الرادار. تنتهي منطقة الرادار باختفاء الإشارة عن الشاشة. سوف يطلق الجهاز صوت لعدة مرات وإشارة حمراء في حال تجاوزك السرعة القصوى. في حال دخولك منطقة محايدة يتم تقييد الوقت ويبدأ العد التنازلي. في حال وجود حالة قصوى سوف تظهر على الشاشة، وأيضا سوف تتمكن من رؤية العد التنازلي على الشاشة أيضا. عندما تظهر إشارة جو سوف تتمكن من الاستمرار. لا يتم مخالفة أجهزة ستيلا في المناطق المحايدة، ولكن تبقى مسؤولية السائق للعمل بقوانين الوقت المسموح به. في حال تجاوزك السرعة القصوى سوف يطلق الجهاز صوت وضوء للتحذير. ممكن للمقر الرئيسي أن يرسل لك رسالة أو أن يسألك أسئلة للتأكد من موقفك الحالي، وبذلك عليك الإجابة بأوكي، يس أور نو. للاطلاع لوجهاتك المفضلة يجب عليك ضغط الزر الأخضر. عندها سوف تتمكن من اختيار الوجهة المطلوبة أو الوجهات التي لم تصلها بعد. أخيرا لتصفير العداد يجب عليك ضغط الزر الأخضر 3 مرات متتالية. شاكرين لكم حسن انتباهكم.
طيب, before we go into the English, anybody has a question? نعم. نعم. وهم حيقولوا لك. نعم. السيارة اللي أمامك حيجي له صوت وإنذار إنه السيارة اللي خلفك تبغى تتجاوزك. طيب, هو لازم يحط أوكي. لما هو يحط أوكي أنت تيجي عندك جو، تجيك على العلامة جو، فيصير هو وأنت بتعديه هو عارف إنك أنت بتعديه. ليش لازم هذه المعلومة مهمة؟ لأنه أحيانا تيجي تعديه تحسب إنك أنت عشان ضغطت له زرار هو يمكن ما سمع الصوت، يمكن ما هو منتبه، فجيت انت جنبه وهو صار يبغى يغير مساره مثلا في الصحراء فحيصدمك. لكن لما يحط لك اوكي يصير هو جاهز انه هو يخليك تعدي. اذا ما استجاب يعني انت تروحي منه بس على مسؤوليتك انه انت ايش. احيانا في فعلا الناس ما تستجيب، ما ابغى يعدي، ها ما يسمع. يعني في غالبا في الراليات صراحة هو هذا على فكرة الجهاز للراليات الصحراوية السريعة الكروس كنتري، وأنا طورته معاهم عشان نعملوا لهذا السباق. فأنتوا هنا يعني في فيتشر مثلا زي هذه انك انت ما انت محتاجة ترى تعدي اللي امامك عشان ما هو سرعة. فهذه حالة نادرة ممكن أنت تستخدموها، لكن يعني حقيقة ما تحتاجوه. لكن إذا برضو تبي تعديها لأنه هي مرة مبطئاكي تقدري تعملي لها. إذا ما استجابت شوفي محل سيف إنك أنت تعدي وعديها. نعم تفضلي. ما يأثر على؟ لا 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 أبدا لا. اوكي في zones محطوط عليها speed limits. This is the naturalization points is
I think this is in the point of speed limit.
yes for the speed limit yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. هذه المناطق اللي فيها سرعة قانونية قصوى شايفة تكون هذه يسموها neutralization points. لازم تلتزمي في السرعة اللي تطلع لك على العداد حتكون 60 لازم تلتزمي ب60 إذا طلعت فوق ال60 حيديكي إنذار ماشي anything طيب معلش حنبدأ مرة ثانية باللغة الإنجليزية.
Stella 3 Evo User Manual. Let us show you how Stella 3 EVO safety equipment works. Stella 3 Evo User Manual. Let us show you how Stella 3 EVO safety equipment works. On the main screen, you can see your current heading, direction, distance, name and number of the destination waypoint. Also the number of waypoints you have already validated and the total distance you've traveled. When you're inside of the radar zone, you can see the current and maximum speed. In this example, the maximum speed is 50 kilometers per hour. In case you have an accident requiring medical attention, you should press SOS. Press the red and blue buttons at the same time until the letters SOS appear on the LED screen. Confirm that you need a doctor, then await instructions from the Rally HQ. Any approaching vehicle will receive an SOS on the screen. The first two vehicles that arrive are obligated to stop, pressing the SOS on their device and help the injured persons. The time that the vehicles remain stationary helping the injured will be returned at the end of the special stage. The SOS alert must not be executed in the event of a minor accident, breakdown or any circumstance that does not involve any danger to the pilot's health. In case of a mechanical breakdown, press the red button for at least 3 seconds until a triangle appears. This will notify other vehicles of your situation and prevent a possible collision. You should select the message that best matches your current situation. For safety reasons, the Stella device will alert you when you are approaching an area marked in the road book as Danger 3. When you approach another vehicle, you can send a blue flag so that you can overtake safely. Press the blue button if you are within the right conditions to request overtaking. The LED screen will show some lines flashing blue. If it turns green, you have confirmation that the vehicle ahead of you is receiving the blue flag. When go appears, overtaking has been accepted. When you receive a blue flag, the device starts beeping and the LED screen flashes blue. By pressing the blue button, you allow overtaking. The default overtaking distance is set up to 300 meters. Be careful, you will have to wait several seconds stationary before they finally reach you. Remember, if you do not respect blue flags or do not allow overtaking to faster oncoming vehicles, then you will be penalized.
For the question here, if they don't let you through, it's the discretion of the stewards. They can penalize the car that is not letting you pass. إذا سألت سؤال الأخت قبل كده إنه إذا طب دعست لها وما بعدت إيش يصير؟ في الكنترول حقة السباق كل شيء واضح بالنسبة لهم، فممكن يعطوا جزاء للأخت اللي ما بعدت عن المسار.
90 meters before entering the radar zone. It beeps and indicates blue flags or do not allow overtaking to faster oncoming vehicles, then you will be penalized. Stella will warn you upon approaching 90 meters before entering the radar zone. It beeps and indicates maximum speed in yellow. Within the radar zone, the maximum speed appears on the LCD screen. The radar zone ends when this indication disappears. The device will beep several times if you exceed the limit, and the maximum allowed speed will appear in red. When you enter a neutralization zone, the entry time is captured and a countdown begins. If there is any speed limit, it will be indicated on the LCD. A last-minute countdown can also be seen on the LED screen. When the go
سوري النيوتراليزيشن بوينت هذه احيانا يوقفوك في وسط المرحله تروحي من نهايه الى بدايه هذا اسمه النيوتراليزيشن زون برضه حيكون في سبيد ليميت وحيقولوا لي كم السبيد ليميت حقت المنطقه هذيك هي تقريبا زي السبيد ليميت اريا تتعامل في المعامله نفس السبيد ليميت اريا. There was a question that said, what is neutralization zone? This zone is exactly when you are inside the stage, you still did not finish the stage, but there is a section of the stage that you need to just drive slowly until you get to the start of another section of the stage, which you can go a little bit faster or as per the road book says. And you'll be penalized at this zone if you go up above the speed limit that is provided in the road book. And the machine will beep if you are over the speed limit.
appears, neutralization time is over and you can continue. The Stella device assists in avoiding penalization in neutral zones, but it is still the pilot's responsibility to schedule and comply with the permitted times. If your category has a maximum speed limit and that is exceeded, an audible and luminous warning will appear. The Rally HQ can send you informative messages or ask you questions to check the status of your situation, to which you shall respond with the answer OK, yes or no. To access the waypoint list, you must press the green button for a second. Thus, you can select a certain waypoint to navigate to or check those you haven't passed yet. And finally, to reset the odometer, you have to press the green button for 1 second 3 times. Thank you for your attention.
طيب. Thank you one more time. Anybody has a question? By the way, all the material that you will be, you've seen here, it will be provided either through our website or through our social media, like our YouTube would be putting these videos, so you can just go back to the YouTube channel and have a look and study them if you want. And the presentation will be on our website, so you can freely go into the website. Tomorrow they'll be ready and uploaded onto our website. Now, anybody had a questions? Otherwise, we need to go to the actual cars and split into 2 teams, drivers and co-drivers. جماعة إذا أي أحد عنده أسئلة الأفضل إنه يسألنا دحين عشان نقدر نجاوب عليها المختص. إذا ما في أسئلة لازم نروح للسيارات على أساس إنه نحن نعمل التدريب على سيارات وحنقسم إلى مجموعتين، مجموعة سائقين ومجموعة كو-درايفر. بس لحظة. Yes. Is it? Yeah, here you go. What do you want to do?
Is it on? Working? Yes, it is working, right. Okay, there are 2, girls, please. We've got 2 exercises to do. There's a navigation exercise, which you're going to do with Sindley and with Carlos, and there's a driving exercise, which you'll be doing with me and with Abdullah. So 4 cars have come from Jeddah with you, other than the cars for the team. So those 4 drivers need to be with the navigators because you want to drive your own cars. So any drivers that are here that did not bring a car need to be with Abdullah and I, and the rest of you need to be with Sindley and Carlos. Is that clear enough? Yes? Okay, so that's how it needs to work. And then the drivers that didn't come with Abdullah and I, we'll take later. All right? Good.
Hello.
Please, I receive many times the same questions, so I want that everybody have the answer. On road books, sometimes you have green parts on the road book. And 2 or 3 teams asked me this morning, what is it? The green part, it's when the next note is less than 300 meters. That means it will be very close. So you need to focus on that. Thank you.
Anybody has any questions on the road book until they prepare the other 4 cars? It will take about 10 minutes now to go before we go out. But if anybody has any questions about the road book, and I'm insisting that anybody who did not understand the road book, please ask now so Sandili can explain. سألتيني أنت إذا تبغي Sandili, she was having issues this morning. Okay. 1 2 3 اتكلموا بصوت عالي ايش المشكله على اساس هي ترد عليكم ويكون يمكن الفائده تعم.
Maybe I ask you a question so everybody can have the answer.
تفضل ايش المشكله؟
To this morning,
you were this and yeah, just put it on.
This morning, yes, because at the start there was no specific flag saying the start is there.
Okay.
So at the beginning you have the difference of distance, and you're supposed to adjust the distance. It can be 100 meters or more or less. But on the application I gave you, it's possible to adjust the distance. If you watch the video, it will explain how to do that. And if you want to train at home, for those who want to train. It's very easy to make a road book. You go to website, Rally Navigator, you drive around your home or somewhere else, and you record your track with application like Gaia, GPS, or another one. You can do in both sides, it's not important. Once you have your track, you register on the website, rallynavigator.com, you upload your track, and it will create a road book. The road book will be empty, there will be only split change of direction, okay, and the cap. And then you can draw any information you have, here there is a mountain, here there is a tree, here there is a rock, and you can split the road book as you want. It's not very difficult. Maybe the first time to use is not easy, but if you look at it, you will find a way. It's a good way of training. By the way, you can make your own road book and train on it. And your question about this morning, so there was no specific flag saying the start is here. For sure, the distance was not accurate. Another question?
Excuse me.
Yes?
Yeah, sure. In the sign paper that you gave us yesterday, there are 4 signs for the caps. It's not clear, like one of them exit cap, average cap, calculated cap. It's
yes.
not. Yeah.
No, this I didn't explain because it will take more than 2 hours to explain. No, yesterday I had 2 hours to explain the navigation. This you won't need for the Jamil. The lexical I gave you is the lexical from the FIA. That means that in road book, you can have all kind of this sign, not more. You can have less, but not more. The cap, the difference of all the cap, I can explain you, but we won't need it for the Jamil Rally.
Okay.
It's when you take a road, for example, you are coming this way, and you have to turn here. Once you turn, as I explained yesterday, you have a cap saying, the cap I have to follow is at the beginning of yes. After, the track can go like this, the cap will change. But no matter, it helps you to find it. When you are in dunes for a long time, the rally organizer gives you an average cap. Because of course, he's not going to tell you, you go to this dune, then you turn right, then you turn left, it's impossible. So he gives you an average cap to the next waypoint. But this, you won't need it for the Jamil Rally. Other question?
Just let me explain.
Yes.
طيب هي سألت تقول إنه يعني برضو عن الكاب. الكاب مهمتها فقط يا جماعة، الكاب مهمتها فقط عند الجنكشن. عند الجنكشن بعد كده حتتغير الكاب. هذه محطوطة وظيفتها إنك أنت بعد ما تخرج من الجنكشن هذا تكوني عارفة وين توجهك، وبعد كده حتلاقي الطريق وتتبعيه حسب الرود بوك. طيب فهنا عندك مثلا تقول لك روحي كاب كذا، فأنت توجهي السيارة على كاب كذا، بعد كده ده وظيفته انتهت. بعد كده تمشي على الرود بوك، تمشي على الكاب هذا، في شارع حيكون قدامك، السكشن اللي بعده حيكون على الرود بوك بعد مثلا 200 متر، حيقول لك روح شمال وروح يمين. واضح؟ أحد عنده أسئلة أخرى؟
Maybe I would like to come back to, I had 2 questions yesterday at the restaurant. One was about headings. Someone asked me what is the degree, and you can look at the internet on Google. You look at a compass, the Earth is 360 degrees. So if you go north, it's 0 degrees, south is 180, 90, and 270 degrees. You need to have this in mind. This is very important. You know the main cap. Those, the north, south, east, and west. Because if you're following, I don't know, 200 degrees, okay? And the GPS is telling you to go to, I don't know,
كمساعدة يكون عندك sense of direction، أنت متوجهة على أي مكان. أي. طيب anything else؟ أنت قلت عندك سؤال؟ أيوه. المايك، استني خذ المايك. هنا. أنت عندك سؤال كمان؟ أنا أيوه تفضلي.
في الرود بوك كان في اليوتيرن
انجلش عشان تفهمك بعدين.
In the road book there was a U-turn. We have to turn and then turn right,
U-turn, yeah?
Yeah. We took the first U-turn based on the kilometers in the road book. But it was way after the U-turn we took.
The turn was at the right place. Maybe you start from the hotel with not the right kilometer on your phone.
Okay.
And maybe I would like to say something to drivers, and I would like the advice of Abdullah on this. It is very important as a driver that when your co-driver say you have to do this in, I don't know, 400 meters, that you know what is 400 meters. You have an idea of what is 400 meters. Usually people use, I don't know, reference they have. For me, the reference is athleticism. I know that 400 meters is a full round in a stadium. For others that play golf, they have their own reference on, I don't know.
يعني هي تنصح انه يعني انت كسائقه وملاحه يكون عندكم تقريبا 100 متر او 200 متر في النظر قديش تبعد. فهذه مره مهم انكم انتم ايش دحين تتدربوا عليها. مثلا انا هذا اللي اقترحه، يعني هي ما قالت هذا الكلام بس انا اقترح اذا انت تصفر العداد حقت السياره وتمشي لمده 100 متر وتشوفيها عشان تعرف الحس تقريبا 100 متر قديش. بعد كده اعمل على 400 متر. في النظر ترى بعد فترة بسيطة حيصير تقريبا يكون عندك تقريبا knowledge أو خبرة بسيطة فيها.
Yeah, it will help a lot because, for example, if your co-driver say in 400 meters turn on your right and you turn now, say no, in 400 meters. So what you can do is when you're driving at home in your city, you can use the navigator app I show you, and you look, maybe you see a bridge, and you say, oh, I think this bridge is 500 meters or 100 meters from me, and you check. You're driving and you check what was the meters. So you train your eyes to the distance.
هذا اللي أنا قلته قبل شوية، لكن أعيده بطريقة مهمة وأديكم معلومة مهمة. أحيانا في الطريق يقول لك الرود بوك يديكي مثلا امشي على ده الشارع 400 متر وبعدين لف يمين. ممكن تكون ترى في لفات يمين قبلها. الرود بوك ما حيشرح لك كل لفه انت موجوده حتشوفيها في الطريق، لكن هو بيعتمد على اساس انك انت عندك خبره 400 متر هذه قديش طولها معروف. بعد كده اذا انت مثلا لفيتي قبل اللفه وظيفه الكود درايفر تقول لك لا استني لسه ما وصلنا نحن ل 400 متر. فلازم الكود درايفر تقول لك لا لسه قدام شويه ولما توصل ل 400 متر تلف يمين. هذا اذا انت كسائقه ما تعرفي ايش معناه قديش تقريبا في النظر ايش هي 400 متر. فالكود درايفرز هنا عليهم مسؤوليه لما يكونوا في السياره لازم يبلغوا السائقه اذا هي وصلت ل 400 ولا لا. واضح؟ اوكي.
If there is other questions.
Sorry, one more thing. هي قالت الابلكيشن اللي قالت لكم نزلوه تنصح انكم انتم تنزلوه بدل تريبينج ذا ميتر زي ما انا قلت لكم بالشغل ايام عهدنا القديم ما كان في ما عندنا اجهزه زي هذه. فكان عندكم دحين الجهاز تقدروا تستخدموه تطلع مثلا انتم وياه تتدربوا تحطوا مثلا تتوقع كم من هنا للشجره هذه. أنا أتوقع أنها تكون 300 متر فتمشي وتخلي هذا الجهاز معك فاتحة حيوريك قديش متر بعيد عنك هذه الشجرة وتعملوها كذا مرة ترى سهلة جدا. حتلاقي عندكم يعني هو ما حد بالمتر هي بس تقريبا الفيل.
And for the training today, for those who is going to, everybody is going to do it, but when you're going to train in the car with the Stella, you will use the road book, the new road book that you all have installed on your phone. But this time, you won't use the kilometers and the cap from the phone, you will use the Stella.
طيب اليوم حنطلع ونتدرب على الرود بوك والستيلا. فانتم ما حتعتمدوا على الكيلومتر اللي موجود في البرنامج، حتعتمدوا على الجهاز حق الستيلا. طيب sure anything else طيب عشان صار عندنا شويه كده تاخير بقدومكم هنا اليوم وشويه الوقت تغير، فانا الان بنركب الاجهزه في السيارات. احتاجكم تجلسوا مع أليكس والنساء فقط. كل الرجال حيطلع برا. I'm gonna let Alex do her bit with the ladies until they prep the cars and we go and do our okay. So where is Alex? To clear all the gentlemen from the room. في معلومات كنساء أليكس لازم تقول لكم هي privately. فدحين نحن حنستغل هذا الوقت عبال ما هم يجهزوا السيارات. لكن now we are because we had an issue today with you coming again, ladies, you have to be precise and punctual with the times. Being late is not will make you lose the rally, definitely. So please be punctual. Since we started a little bit late and we have to reschedule a few things, we have Alexei that needs to talk to the ladies separately to tell them about how they should deal with the issues inside the stage. So I need to call everybody out, men outside the room, please. And شوف لي أليكس هنا. Yes. ايوه لا مين اللي عنده سيارات؟ في 4 سيارات. انت ايوه اديتي له مفتاحك؟ هو بيركبها خلاص الان. لا نحن ما نحتاج نركب على كل السيارات. نحن اخترنا 4 سيارات حتركب عليها على اساس تساعد في هذا. بس عموما حنتقسم الى قسمين زي ما قلت لكم. بس ابغى اعرف الان مين هم الكو درايفرز. 1 2 3 4 5 6. فريزر this is something between you and me. We need to know and how to split them. Can you come with me please? Co-drivers again, raise your hands. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 9 co-drivers. Hands down. Drivers. 1 2 3 4 5 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13. Yeah, you're 13. I'm coming to that. There is 13 drivers now and 9 co-drivers. And who are the 4 ladies that had equipment in their cars? 1 2 3 4. 4. لا اللي اخذنا مفاتيح سياراتهم عشان نركب عليها اجهزه. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so 13 minus 5 with their co-drivers.
The five who are having equipment fitted have to stay with the co-drivers, and the drivers who are not bringing cars with them stay.
Okay. The five drivers, do they have their co-drivers here now? أنت ما في الكو-driver حقك؟ ولا أنت؟ ها؟ لا مش معليش. لا نحن بس لا خليك إذا أنت لحالك. she's alone and she's alone. The rest, the other cars have their co-driver with them. مين الكو-driver اللي لحالها؟ she's co-driver, she's alone, so she can join her. Okay. وبعد كده حنقسم You're driver. You're a driver now. Okay. For the road. Can she do both sides? Yeah, so you do the co-driving first, because the drivers will have another session with us second time. Type anyways. We will decide who goes where after you finish your session with Alex. Again, I need all my انتوا بتستووا يلا. يا شباب برا لو سمحتوا. Fraser, we're fired. Or if you don't want to use the mic, it's up to you. والكاميرا شغاله.
Yes.
Masa al-khair. So they're probably all listening outside anyway, and I'm sure. Yeah. So just to let you know that Cinderly will be taking in the group any of you who have brought your own car, so private cars will be going with off-road, will be going with Cinderly. So hands up those of you who were here last year. So most of you know this story and this part, and I didn't think I'd be bringing it up again this year, but I am. So for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name's Alex. I've been involved with motorsport and rallies for about 20 years now. So one of the things that we were discussing last year was when you're out in the desert for prolonged periods of time, what do you do if you need to go to relieve yourself, to go to the toilet? And normally this wouldn't be a big issue, but I was telling everybody last year about a story about when I was on a search and rescue helicopter, as I did for 10 years in the middle of the desert, going to pick people up who were stranded, competing in desert rallies. So on this particular day, we had a dual team, so 2 men, 2 women on the team, myself and a female doctor. We landed in the middle of nowhere, waiting for our next task on the helicopter. The doctor decided that she needed to go to the toilet, and we kept saying to her, just go behind a dune, it's fine, nobody's going to worry about it. And she kept saying, no, I can't, I'll just wait. But of course, 6 hours in, this poor woman was absolutely desperate to go to the toilet. So because we wear flight suits, it's like a onesie. So obviously you've got to take everything off to get there. Eventually, she could not wait any longer. So she started walking over the dunes. And I said, you don't have to go far. Nobody's going to be looking. We're all facing the other way. There's no windows at the back of the helicopter. It's fine. But she kept walking because she was worried that we might see her. Eventually, she gets herself into a sand bowl and she starts to undress. And she pulls her flight suit down and she wraps it up and she sits down. And then the next thing, she can hear cars. So the lead cars from the rally had started coming in our direction. We're thinking, it'll be fine. No way in the middle of this vast desert is a car going to come anywhere near this poor female doctor. But no. Mid-flow, this car comes over the hill and literally brakes, and she's like this, and she falls backwards into the sand and the wet patch on the floor, and the 2 men are like this, and she's like this. And then to make matters worse, they just burst out laughing, so they didn't do anything. And then she came running back over, and we were like, where are you? And why are you covered in sand? And why are you wet? What on earth is going on? So she explained, she was crying, and she's like, oh, they've come over. And I said, they won't tell anyone. It'll be fine. Nobody will find out. By the time we got back to the bivouac that night, because the boys had a video, they were like, oh, I wonder if we should share this video. They told everybody, but fortunately they didn't share the video. It probably would have gone viral. Anyway, we suggested that in future she buy herself a shiwi. I don't know if anybody's tried a shiwi. Yeah. So if you think that you're going to be out in the desert for hours, remember, wear nice, easy clothing, take some nice sanitary wet wipes and things, and make sure that if you hide over a dune, that you listen out and make sure there's nobody coming past. If needs be, and you're right in the middle of nowhere, put the warning triangle. It may cause some people to come and check that you're okay, but at least it's all women. If it was men, I'd say just hide or take a bottle. So yeah, that's about it. So moving on from there then, it would be quite nice just to go over some of the experiences that you had last year and how the training helped you. So hands up anybody who had any sort of technical issue while they were out on the rally. Did anybody have to change a tire? Yeah, okay. Twice? Were you in the Porsche?
No, I was in the MG car.
Yeah.
I had to decrease the pressure of the tire,
Yeah.
and my co-pilot didn't inform me that there's a rocks, so we couldn't just pump it again. So that's why I had to change the tire. And the second time, actually I'm not sure, but I think I hit a rock. That's why, twice.
Okay.
The second and the first day.
So do you know why the tire would have deflated because there is a rock there?
Yes.
Yeah, I know it sounds pretty obvious, but basically when your tire is full of air and expanded, it creates a hard surface, and that will take more impact. When a car has been sitting with low tire pressures for some time, and then you increase the tire pressure again, that's when you're likely to get a blowout. So even when you're on, you know, just driving along the road normally, think about the difference in temperature in the summer, especially here in Saudi Arabia, to the winter, and your tires go through a massive heat cycle, not only every time you go out on the road, but also every time that every time that the temperature changes day to night. So that is something you should all be aware of. Check your tire pressures once a month. If you have a blowout, it's likely that you've been running on a soft tire for some time and the sidewall has then basically given way. Okay, did anybody, hands up for those of you who got stuck and had to dig yourselves out? Yeah. Yeah? What happened?
I remember we were in the middle of the desert and there was dunes, but it was soft sand. So we were going fast, but then we found ourselves stuck in the sand.
Yeah.
And I remember it was many cars, not only us. And everyone was just trying to dig and get out.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, that brings us back to the momentum issue. You know, there's some places that the most professional drivers in the world that have done Dakar 20 times will still end up having to dig themselves out of the sand. The softer the sand, almost the faster the speed you have to take, so that you sort of glide across the top. As soon as you take your foot off the accelerator, your vehicle becomes heavier because it's spending more time in one place, and that's when you start to sink. The best thing to do when you start to slow down is start altering the steering. So as you slow and you're moving from side to side, you'll find that you'll get more traction. It's the opposite way as if you were on a track. If you're on a track and you start sliding, you would do that to correct, to try and get more traction again. So the other trick is, when you're out, try and read the terrain ahead of you. You can see where it is softer, where it is deeper. It's also different times of the day. The sand will have a different kind of feel. But I bet you anything, most of you have spent way more years driving in the desert than I ever have, so I'm sure you'll be fine. So finally then, was there any sort of feedback from last year in terms of the route? Do you think that it's going to be a more difficult route this year? Easier? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's sort of the exciting part, because obviously you're getting to do desert driving. But remember, this is your entry into competitive motorsport. You have the opportunity to use this as a stepping stone to then go into whatever you want to do. Most competitors who aim for Dakar do not have the experience of this terrain. So the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge used to be the shakedown for Dakar. And basically, if you hadn't competed in the Desert Challenge, you were never going to attempt Dakar before it was in Saudi, because Dakar, the last 3 days, were soft sand, big dunes. Most people in the world do not get to experience this type of terrain, and that's why you've got like Nasser Al-Attiyah, Sam Sunderland, who grew up in the UAE, have spent years driving in the desert. I bet you anything, if you had to go and do a rally in mainland Europe and there was some sand incorporated, I bet you'd be in the top 10. Because you already have the experience. So think about how you want to progress and where you want to go in the future. Whatever you do is fun anyway.
I have a question regarding the rally in January. In the instructions we have, they keep saying to not concentrate on time, as this is not a time-based race. So time has no any aspect in it, like it doesn't matter who arrives first as long as you just get the scores done?
Yes, so it's kind of the opposite. You get 2 types of rallies. So you get a speed over distance rally, and then you get a navigation rally. This is a navigation rally. You could start, but make your way to the end doing 200 kilometers an hour, and you will come last. Because if you miss the waypoints, or if you don't follow the average time, the first time I did a navigation rally was with my husband. We nearly got divorced, I swear. So to start with, I said, obviously I'm driving because you drive like a granny, and I can't do maths, so I thought he would do the navigation. What he failed to realize when we started, we'd been going for about an hour, and he told me that the average speed there was 40 kilometers an hour, which is super slow. And I was driving along, and there was parts where we were near like a motorway, and people were passing us all the time. I said, this can't be right. It's got to be illegal to drive this slow in an area where people are driving so fast. What we hadn't realized is that the average speed is over a section. So to go between points, you can drive at whatever speed. Obviously, if you get caught by a speed camera, then it's not going to look too good. But the average speed is in that time. And the average speed, we almost should call it something different, because it's not, we're averaging 40 kilometers an hour. Yes, that's what we're doing. But actually what we're saying is, if you calculate the time you need to be at the end, get there 3 minutes early, and then at 2 minutes 30 seconds, head towards the finish, because it's that finish point closest to the average speed time will be the person who, or duo who wins. So it's all to do with giving yourself enough time. If you go too quickly and you miss a waypoint, so you miss the road book telling you to go left or right, then you're going to have to recalculate and try and go quicker to get to the finish point. But if you take it relatively easy, you're very aware of your road book, and you avoid patches of very soft sand, even if it takes longer to go round. And that's where people that do speed rallies have to think about. In speed rallies, somebody who's going from point A to point B, say it's like motorbikes and cars, so the motorbikes are quicker to go up over the sand dunes, whereas the cars, it's actually quicker to go round each of the mountains or sand dunes because it takes them so long to get up and down. You can follow the same principle. You've got your average time. You don't want to be in a position where you've got an opportunity, not an opportunity, where there's potential of getting stuck. Therefore, the best thing to do is calculate where you need to be at the end or what time you need to be at the end point. Take it nice and easy, get there, give yourself plenty of time, and then 30 seconds out, drive towards the finish, as long as you're within 30 seconds of the finish point, and you'll do very well. Any further questions? Because I know you'll be desperate to get out into the desert, and obviously if you want to use the ablutions, good opportunity now. Any other questions? Yeah, it's, no, so when you, were you here yesterday? No. Ah, okay, we'll explain it, that's okay, we'll explain it in a car. So anybody that wasn't available yesterday, we'll be putting information out on the website for people that are online. But yeah, so a navigation rally, you need to calculate, if it tells you there's an average speed of 60 kilometers an hour and it's 20 kilometer to get from, it's 20 kilometers from point A to point B, you'll calculate how long that would take with an average of 60 kilometers an hour. You'd make your way towards the end point and you know how much time you've got to get there. But we can explain it in the car. Anything else? No? Halas? Perfect. Right. We will let you go to the bathroom. If you want to grab some water or anything, that's fine. And then, as we said, we've got those of you that have your private cars will go with Sindley. And then there's the navigation, sorry, not the navigation. The second element will go with Fraser and Abdullah. Okay? Great.
ما في 3:30. طفي الصوت طفي الصوت.